Hello everybody and welcome to NFL Week 3 in a nutshell, and I'm going to just start it off quickly. This was a pretty fucky week, but it was really enjoyable. Now starting off with the Giants versus the 49ers.
George Kittle, always the character.
Oh yeah, one of a kind.
Is not even shocked. Like, really, who honestly thought the Giants would win this game? Their leading rusher had 17 fucking yards. That's a single scramble, but that's a single long scramble by most quarterbacks in the league. The Niners were better in every single way. Purdy was better than Jones. CMC is still a beast. Debo's elite, and just have to point out that the Giants' leading receiver had 32 fucking yards. This was just domination, and I think it's about time that we admit the Giants are cooked as hell. They overachieved so hard that they're now stuck in purgatory paying Danny Pennies $40 million a year. Jesus Christ. I mean, who's taking that contract? Probably the worst part is the defense is way too good for them to get the first overall pick. I guess maybe, considering how good the Cardinals were, if Kyler comes back early and balls out, Arizona might fall out of it, but they beat Arizona, so that's really bad for them to begin with. And I mean, for Giants fans, I'm so sorry. Just rewatch one of the Super Bowls. Jaguars versus Texans. How? I mean, I ignored how bad the Jags offense was against the Chiefs last week, but I mean, I think literally everyone in the damn world did. Just, Jesus. If you're gonna do that, if you're gonna lose to the goddamn Texans, you're not gonna go that far. It's just an extremely messy game overall. I mean, Stroud had another pretty good game. Tank Dell put up great numbers once again. Calvin Ridley once again disappeared. This was just honestly shocking just how bad Jacksonville looked out there. The winner of this division might just be sub 500 like the NFC South was last year at this rate. For the Texans, I mean, you did a great job and you're honestly a really likable team and I hope you succeed. Commanders versus Bills. Yeah, the Redskins are really ass. For the Bills, I mean, great job. You've beaten the Raiders and the Commanders. Now beat a team that has a fucking pulse next week in Miami. Please. Realistically, there isn't really anything that the Commanders can do. Pray that Howell isn't this bad, and I don't think he'll be, but it's not looking too good for him because I don't think there's ever going to be a time where we see a quarterback start the entire game and throw 4 picks again, at least this season. And by saying that, someone like fucking Dak Prescott's going to do it next week, isn't he? Oh, the misery. Broncos versus Dolphins. The Broncos are still ass, and I'm still not talking about them. For the Dolphins, you should have kicked the field goal, you fucking cowards. Colts versus Ravens. Welcome to Minshew Mania. I don't care how injured the Ravens are, the Colts are winning the damn Super Bowl if one of Richardson or Minshew play. And honestly, just put both of them out there. I don't even care. I think it's way funnier if you do that. Honestly, if the Jags keep self-destructing, they might have a chance to win the division with how good their defensive front is. I mean, Justin Tucker missed a game winner, so it's probably the end of the world. I mean, just honestly a shocking performance of the Ravens, considering they were able to beat a poverty-ass Colts team. Like I said, I'm honestly just impressed by how well the Colts have been playing. Just a classic trap game that Baltimore can't afford to lose if they want to have a shot at winning the number 1 overall seed. And honestly, in the AFC, that might be the best way if you want to win the Super Bowl, considering just how difficult it's going to be able to do against so many other teams. If you're not at home, Baltimore's not going to beat Kansas City. They're not going to beat Buffalo. They're not going to beat the Bengals. It's going to be pretty bad for them if they fall victim to more trap games. Jets versus Patriots. Thank God! If the Pats lost this game, I'd just stop watching football. I'll admit it got a bit too close at the end, but no matter what happens, we still own the Jets. Last time the Jets beat us, the newest iPhone was the fucking iPhone 6. Let that sink in. And Jets fans, promise Zach Wilson behind a shitty offensive line is not the answer to your problems. If you had Rodgers, would you have won? Probably, but here's a cool thing. I don't give a single shit. get shit on. You guys are a poverty franchise. And goodbye. Titans versus Browns. Derrick Henry had -6 rushing yards in the first half. Can you guess who won? I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't watch this game at all. Now that Nick Chubb's gone, I'm just not going to watch the Browns. And it's the Titans. I'm not watching the Titans play willingly. I think that's what they do for torture. Considering they only put up 3 points, you can see exactly why. Watson looked decent outside of one throw, but that he was also playing against the worst pass defense in the entire league last year, so that probably helped. And yes, I do know I'm refusing to give him credit. And I will continue to do this until he actually wins something. And yes, I understand that, oh, that's not very nice. You should be considerate. No, it's Deshaun Watson. I won't. And as for the Titans, I don't know anymore. I think you're in purgatory, so have fun and prepare to start Mailman soon.
Whopper, 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 Junior, Double, Triple, Whopper, Flame Grill taste with perfect toppers. I rule this day.
Man, I swear, every time I watch the Falcons play, I lose more brain cells. You draft a receiving tight end at number 4 overall instead of trying to rebuild with a quarterback, and then draft a receiver in the first round next year, yet you don't use them, like, ever. Then you draft a fucking running back despite having an 1,000-yard rusher and the best corner in the draft falling into your lap. Just every single time it seems like they're making a good choice, they roll with Desmond Ridder instead of trading for Lamar Jackson. And continue to disappoint me. And this is coming from a Patriots fan. I feel bad for Falcons fans. Honestly. I haven't felt so bad for them since a certain Super Bowl. As for the Lions, thank God you didn't lose, because I really hope you guys are good. You guys deserve it, and you're just such a likable team. I love Jared Goff, and I love Amon-Ra, and Hutchinson. Everyone on that team is just really likable. Whether or not that's going to happen is probably still up for grabs, but hey, they look pretty good right now, and they're probably not going to get the number 1 overall pick, so that's a plus. Chargers versus Vikings. Chargers, you won the battle, but you most definitely lost the war. If the Vikings win this game, then Staley is instantly fired. But by winning, he's gonna stay despite going for it on 4th down on his own fucking 30. That was honestly one of the worst play calls of all time. If you weren't playing the damn Vikings, you would have been punished instantly. Commander Kirk had another amazing game. But honestly, why didn't you spike it? That's just poor coaching and just poor awareness. Instead, you decided to hurry to the line, and your star tight end pulled Kadarius Toney to lose you the game. I mean, now you're just stuck in purgatory, because it seems like you might be able to compete for Caleb Williams, but why should you do that when you already have a top 10 quarterback in the league? You need to fix that O-line and defense. What if this is Kirk's last year? What do? As for the Chargers, even though you won, you should have fired Staley. There's really no reason to keep him. If it wasn't the damn Vikings, you guys would have lost, so consider yourself lucky. Because trust me, you're not going to be facing them every week. Hope you guys are excited to face the Chiefs twice a year. Saints versus Packers. The Packers got really damn lucky, if I'm being completely honest. If Carr played the entire game, then the Saints win. Hell, if the Saints even have one of their top 2 running backs, they probably win. But that's the game of football. No matter how ugly a win, it's still a win in the column. And hey, Packers have a huge game now against the Detroit Lions, which is going to mean a lot for the NFC North. If the Packers want to win that game, then they're going to need to get healthy by Thursday and not go down 17 points at half, unless they're betting on Jared Goff getting hurt. Like I said, the Saints should be fine as it seems like Carr's not going to be out for the season. But the sooner he comes back, the better, because the NFC South is definitely slightly less ass than they were last year. But, I mean, that's really just saying that they're better than a Pee Wee football team. So, good job, I guess? Panthers versus Seahawks. I honestly think that this game should be very worrying if you're a Panthers fan because just of how well Dalton played. I know Bryce is a rookie, but I think the pick was always Stroud. I thought that before the draft, and I definitely think it right now. Just because of how fragile little baby Bryce would be. After he got hurt and he lost his first 2 starts and also got hurt. Because, I mean, there's literally kids in my grade that weigh more and are taller than this little kid. I mean, and man, is this a bad time to mention that I'm in fucking middle school? Overall, Dalton played really well, and you should definitely put to question if you should throw Bryce back into the fire or let him cook behind Dalton for at least a little bit. With this injury and how well Stroud's been playing, Stroud is looking more and more like the offensive rookie of the year as long as Bijan and Alligator keep splitting carries and depending on when Sippy Cup returns from injury. It's going to be a mess, and I'm all here for it. And for the Seahawks, I mean, good job. The Panthers are pretty ass, but it was huge that you did not drop to 1-2 in that division because it's actually pretty competitive. A lot more competitive than I think a lot of people thought. But, yeah, you guys are pretty entertaining, and I wish the best for you as I like Geno Smith a lot. I was definitely a bit worried after week 1, but apparently the Rams are just really damn good at football again. Bears versus Chiefs. A dark horse playoff team. That's really what people thought the Bears were going into this year. And I mean, I saw them at 6-11, and apparently that was way too generous. Seems like Fields is cooked, and the play calling is somehow even worse than his decision making. Just honestly impressive. I gotta give a round of applause. And I mean, Fields isn't that good, but at least let him fucking run. The entire reason you even drafted him was so he could do that in the first place. I'm not gonna deny Fields could be successful on the right team and with the right system, but I mean, take it from a Patriots fan, your offense looks like it was being run by Matt Patricia. But even worse because at least he had the excuse of Mac isn't a freak athlete. Screen passes galore, and I mean, it's like they just saw it work twice in the preseason and decided, oh yeah, I'm going to do that for the rest of the season. Oh yeah, I guess there was another team in this game. The Chiefs are good. Wow. Apparently Travis Kelce's dating Taylor Swift? I'd care, but I honestly don't. Cardinals versus Cowboys.
Did you have fire in your gut?
Jonathan, I mean this. I am so sorry for doubting you after the Super Bowl. And although a lot of people want you to tank and think that's the best for the organization, I think going 5-12 but creating a huge culture change is so much better, and I don't think people understand that. Josh Dobbs has been playing his ass off the last couple of games. I think now that he actually knows his receivers' names, which is always going to be pretty helpful. I mean, if Kyler comes back, they could actually be decent. And I mean, for the Cowboys, how? Truly a certified Cowboys moment of all time. Despite all logic, they still find a way to lose. Impressive, honestly. Steelers versus Raiders. Oh my god, the Steelers hurt my brain at this point, man. Pickett has like one good play a game and then plays like absolute shit for the rest of it. Najee's a dead man walking in. They'll still go 9-8 and won't fire Canada because of that fact. Also, yeah, the Raiders aren't good. Jimmy looks absolutely cooked, and he's just thrown to Devontae Adams the entire game, which isn't a bad strategy. Josh Jacobs, I honestly don't know what happened. How do you go from this good to this bad so quickly? And, I mean, I have to say this. Stop giving the Steelers primetime games. No one wants to watch them. It's not entertaining anymore. Just, please, it should be considered abuse at this point. I am begging you, NFL, make it stop. Buccaneers versus Eagles. It would have been funny, though. Yeah, apparently the Bears are worse than the Eagles. Who would have thought? Hurts continues to look just a tiny bit uncomfortable out there, but he did what he had to do to get the win, despite throwing 2 picks. Swift continues to look great. And it's not like they were playing a horrible defensive front anymore because the Bucs have one of the best in the leagues. And if you're the Bucs, you shouldn't be concerned about anything other than Mike Evans' dropping problem. Realistically, one of these teams was going to leave at 3-0, and the better team did. Bengals versus Rams. This game fucking sucked, bro. Burrow is still really banged up, and the Rams just need talent if they want to actually be good. This one is huge for Cincy because dropping to 0-3 would be one of the worst things possible for them. But I think you should really consider sitting Burrow, especially considering you're playing against a very good pass rush against the Titans, because Burrow gets any more banged up, then he might be out for the season, and I don't know if you guys can afford that. Because this is like your year to win. This is before you have to pay Chase, before you have to pay Higgins. There's a lot on the line for this game. And as for the Rams, you guys, Stafford did not look good, but I won't complain, as you guys were really supposed to be really bad this year, and you guys are looking a lot better than I think a lot of people thought. Overall, that was week 3, and I have no idea what I just fucking watched. What the hell is the NFL this year?